again. Oh my goodness, I really missed you from last time, and I'm glad you're back to see me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm glad that you asked. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing good. I'm glad that you asked me. How are you feeling body-wise today?
Doing all right. My back is still giving, my lower back still giving me a little bit of issue since I'm on my feet all day.
Yeah.
Little bit of tightness in my neck and shoulder area, but I mean overall I'm doing fine.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start you out with some CBD. Let's go ahead and use this pump to put on your neck. Go ahead and apply that to your neck. And would you like to use the CBD as well for your lower back?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, here you go. Here's one more pump. Go ahead and apply that to your lower back. And CBD is just going to help to relax you. It's going to help to calm down the nervous system so we can maximize the benefit from our session.
Okay, perfect.
Now, you mentioned you had that lower back pain. Let's go ahead and get you set up with the back strap venom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you had that last time. Did you enjoy it last time?
Yeah, it felt really good. That heat is amazing.
Yeah, heat mixed with vibration. It's like dynamic duo. I'm telling you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that to you. And you can still sit up. I'm just going to apply it to you while you're sitting up. So let me wrap it around you. And tell me if it's in a good spot for you.
That's perfect.
Perfect? Okay. Awesome. Let me get that started. And this is just going to help to warm up the tissue in your back and get it nice and massaged out with that little vibration that we got in there while we're doing it. So you're going to leave out of here feeling so good and get a lot of blood flow in that area.
Perfect. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, Casey, we're going to start with your readiness assessment questionnaire. So first thing is soreness. Soreness is just that achiness that you feel 1 to 2 days after physical exertion. Do you feel any soreness today? And on a scale of 1 to 3, what would you say? 1 being poor and 3 being nothing, no soreness at all.
Well, my hamstrings are a bit sore today. I did, squats and everything, deadlifts and all of that. So my lower back and my hamstrings are pretty sore today. A little troubling sitting in the car, or at least, trying to get into the seat of the car. But I'll give it a 2 overall. Not bad, but I can still feel the soreness.
Okay. Sleep that you get each night affects your ability to recover. So if you could tell me on a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being very poor, 3 being great, what is your quality of sleep last night?
3. Yeah, I sleep like a baby almost every night.
All right. Awesome. I'm glad that you sleep very well. And we're going to be moving on to stress. Stress is a big component in your recovery. So if you are under a lot of stress, of course your muscles are going to be a little bit tighter. So do you have a lot of stress? And if you do, please let me know on a scale.
No, I don't. I tend not to stress. I'm very nonchalant about everything, so I tend not to let things bother me for too long. After the situation occurs or whatever, I'm like over it already. So manage my stress very well.
So you're doing great in the stress region. All right, and also hydration. Hydration is a key component as well up there with stress. If you do not stay hydrated, it could lead to an increase in chance of injury. So we don't want to have any increase in chance of injury.
Right.
How is your hydration?
Could be a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, I drink water and everything like when I can, but like when I'm at work, it's hard for me to be able to stay consistent with drinking the amount of water that I should be.
Yeah, sounds like it's not great. Would you rate it as poor or would you rate it as good?
Poor.
Poor.
It's not good, but probably in between. I would say average in between good and poor.
Oh, gotta get you hydrated, get your body glowing, with hydration of that H2O. Get all your body functions processing well and get your muscles nice and hydrated. Yeah, it's very, very important. So now that we've teed up on today's readiness and we have covered all of that, let's go ahead and start with the areas of focus. Now, are there any areas in particular you would like to focus on today?
My lower back and my traps, for sure. And
Okay.
then,
Is it both sides or just one side, particular
uh,
area
usually my right side is a little worse.
on your
So
back?
yeah, well
But
for
both
my
sides.
neck and my lower back, but both sides usually for my lower back kind of bother me, but the right side is a lot worse than the left.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hit both sides, because it sounds like both of them really actually do
Hmm.
need some TLC. And then your trap area as well.
Yeah, and then also my glutes, especially the right glute, especially is very tight, and yeah, it's the range of motion is lacking compared to the left one.
Okay, so that right glute's tight, you want to really focus on that right
Mhm.
glute. Okay, any other areas at all?
Uh,
Your knees, your ankles, all that
no,
okay?
other than that, I think everything's pretty much pretty good.
Alright, perfect. So let's go ahead and look at our program for today and the areas that we're going to be working on. This is going to be, we actually do this because it's personalized. We want to make sure every single session is personalized for you, so we can maximize the benefit of every session when you come in.
Right.
So, as you know, based on your risk factor assessment, based on the areas that you told me you want to work on, based on your readiness, we pulled up a new flex score for today, and you've got some red and yellow areas. So red, of course, are the areas that we really, really want to focus on because that's the bad zone. We don't want to be in that bad zone. You want to get to the greens and everything. Yellows, not as bad, but of course, our goal is to get to the greens. We want to be in a good state. We don't want to maximize or increase our chance of being injured. And that's what the yellows and red kind of signal a warning for, is
Right.
potential injury.
Hmm.
So, sounds like you got some risks in your lower back and mid back, right there. Also, that right foot, based on this risk factor assessment. So there's obviously some imbalances going on there. On that left foot, it's a yellow. So as you know, that imbalance right there. Knees are even, but they're in the yellow range, so 68. And then you've got a yellow on that left hip. Okay, so 68 as well. Now, you did mention that your right hip is a little bit tighter, but since that right hip is okay, it could be due to some compensation potentially
Hmm.
going on. This is, of course, this is drawn from what you mentioned today and your risk factor assessment.
Right.
So, all right, if you are ready to go and get stretched out, I am ready to start stretching you out. So I'm gonna have you remove your shoes. How's that CBD doing on you?
Oh, it feels wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and take your shoes off, and I'm gonna have you lay down. You're gonna make a 180 with your body. Your feet's gonna face the canvas. Your head's gonna be facing the clock in the door. And let's go ahead and start with our session. Okay, Casey. So we did a little bit of foot stuff. Now, whenever I get to the trap, we're gonna be using percussion on your trap. And then I'm going to be stretching it. The reason why I'm using percussion on your trap is I know you do a lot of hard labor for your job, and I know that you're lifting a lot, and your traps are just generally tight. They're like rocks. Okay? What this is going to do is this is going to soften and break down that tissue, get some blood flow running through it. Once it's started, like it's soft, and we're able to use it a little bit more, move around with it a little bit more, we'll start stretching. Does that sound okay?
Yep, sounds perfect.
Okay. All right. Alright. Cool stuff. Alright, Mr. Casey, we've got about 20 minutes left in our session. I know that time flies by really quickly. But I wanted to take the chance to ask you if you knew anybody that would benefit from recovery.
Yeah, I know a few people who I think could benefit from this. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. If you don't mind, I would love to get their contact information from you. And in a few days, I'll reach out to them to see if I can get them on the schedule. Now, what's in it for you? If they just show up for their session, you get a free hour of total body recovery. Okay, so if you could give me their contact information, it will benefit them and you as well. It's a win-win situation.
Okay, cool. You said I get one for everybody, or just like one just for? Do I get one free check for each person, or just one we're harming everybody.
I see what you mean. It's one person that you refer.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like totally win-win situation right here.
Okay,
So
perfect.
if you don't mind, can I get their name and their phone number?
Sure. It would be John Hancock,
Okay.
281-394-2831.
Awesome. That sounds like a really familiar phone number. Okay, well, this is the VIP card that I'm going to give to you. All right, and then hopefully they come in. I'm going to contact them in a few days, okay?
Alrighty, sounds good.
All right. We're going to finish out with our upper body.
Cool.
And we are done, Casey.
Cool.
Let's see how you
Awesome.
feel.
Woo!
Oh, you feel amazing. You
Feels
must
great,
jump
yeah.
off of the bed. I am glad that you're feeling that way.
Oh yeah, I feel
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks, Tori. You are such a great help.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. You know, I just love changing lives one stretch at a time.
One stretch at a time. Well, you definitely help me week to week, so I appreciate everything that you're doing for me here, Tori.
Oh, well, you know what? It's definitely appreciated. Let me take that off for you. All right. So, do you feel like this is benefiting you from week to week? You know, you feel like you're seeing your improvements that you would like to
For sure.
see?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's all about momentum, so we need to keep that momentum going, and we need to keep coming in on a consistent basis, as you already have, right?
Right.
So you're like a model, you know, everybody needs to be like you, coming in on a consistent basis in order to see those results. So thank you for being that model for everybody. Let's go ahead and close this session out. I'm sorry. Casey, so now that we finished this session, let's start looking to the future and discussing the things that we want to work on for our next session, okay?
Okay.
So, are there any areas that you are looking to work on next session, or same areas?
Same areas, primarily still my lower back and that right hip area.
Right hip, lower
Yeah.
back. Okay.
And, yeah.
Any other areas at all? I know you do a lot of
Probably
heavy
my
lifting, upper
probably
back.
my calves.
Your calves, okay. Your calves were tight during that session, man. Not trying to, you know, judge you or anything, but, you know, calves are, you know, everything starts at the foundation.
Yep, sure does.
Okay, now let's look at that risk factor assessment. Overall, there were some red areas, there were some green areas, there were some yellow, but overall, whenever you average them out, you got a 62 out of 100, so you're stuck in that yellow right now, but your consistency is going to get you to that green, so keep it there, okay?
Alright.
Your goal is to get in that 75 to 100 range, and as we mentioned before, those areas of risk, where the lower back, knees, and ankles on the left side, and on the right side, it was the lower back, hips, knees, and ankle. So the difference is that hip on that right side, okay? You said your stress level was non-existent, and you said your quality of sleep was pretty good, which is really, really great. And you got a few sessions left, so if you want to reschedule, same time next week work for you?
Yep, same time next week works.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get you scheduled. But before we get you scheduled, I'm going to have you initial this, and we'll get this copy emailed to you so you can look at it